All right, everybody, what's going on out there? It's Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. We are doing a special race today to break up all of the Warring Triad stuff that we've been doing most recently. This is a 2v2 co-op multi-world race. So what does this basically mean? The runners on the top are going to be playing the same ROM. The bottom runners are playing the same ROM. So it's one overall seed with two different ROMs spread across the teams. The rewards for Runner 2 may be in Runner 1's world and vice versa. And there is an option called Treasure Sanity where treasure can be shared between our runners, but we're not doing that with this particular race. Runners can talk to one another in trying to coordinate exactly where their progression will be, and the total team time or average team time will win here. So that is essentially what we're doing. And as far as settings for the seed goes, we are doing a classic go find 6 characters and 9 espers to unlock Final Kefka, but since this is practice for a marathon after all, there will be incentives for killing or saving Sid. So in this particular practice, we are doing the Let Sid Die objective for unlocking Final Kefka, and we need to perform in an opera as well to unlock Final Kefka. So that is essentially what we've got going on here. As we're going to get our runners ready. So the rewards will pop up in the little client boxes that you see on the sides here, which will be a heck of a lot of fun. And we'll try and keep up with the action as it goes. Most of the generic Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide rando things that you may know based on what the logic is can kind of get thrown out the window because your characters and espers can be at any check, essentially. So it'll be really interesting to see exactly what our runners get up to. We already know who our starting characters are. For the top runners, they are going to be, and I misclicked there, Edgar, Gogo, and Celeste. And for our bottom runners, they're going to be Cyan, Mog, and Umaro. So I know that Drinks Glue is going to be happy getting Umaro to start off at least. And I know Zelfer will be equally happy having Gogo in their starting party. So on the top, so basically the teams are, the left team is facing off against the right team. So the left team will be sharing things between one another, and the right team will be sharing things between one another. The top runners are playing on the same ROM, and the bottom runners are playing on the same ROM. And let's see if we can get the runners going here. So, because of the fact that our runners will be chatting with one another, unfortunately, game sound is going to be a bit of a difficult thing here. So we're just going to have some generic Final Fantasy VI music in the background, and eventually when the time comes, I'll put on some Dancing Mad. And it looks like we are going to get off and running here at the start. As I mentioned, we already know who our starting characters are. GP Rain X Magic for our bottom runner, and then it looks like we got Sword Tech at least for one of our top runners, because I saw one free fits put that on Gogo. So the question is, are seeds for this in the Discord? I could certainly post them when we are finished with the race in the seed sharing area of the Discord. I will make sure that I hold on to them, because I know Ashton Shigura, that I know that you at least have asked for the seeds on some of our YouTube videos for some of them. So for the Archipelago seeds, they don't generate directly from the website like we do, or from Seedbot like we do with most of our races. It goes through a special process after that in order to make sure that we can generate the seeds for both of the players here. Yeah, sword tech is very good. In this flag set, we will get all of the sword techs by going through Cyan's Dream. However, it's interesting to note that the top runners have Cyan's Dream and the bottom runners do not. Does Christopher Warkin have the wrong seed? Well, this would be bad if that was the case. It looks like he's got the wrong seed. Well, I'm hoping I can get his attention. And again, this is why we practice. Let me make sure that Zelfer has the one seed. Okay, they were reversed. Okay. I have this messed up on my tracking sheet here, so let's just go ahead and fix this. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here while I do some changing on the fly. There we go. So Zelfer is going to come down here, and Warkin's going to go up here. Alright, perfect. Yeah, thank you, Pure Learning, or Per Learning, or Pearl Earring. That's probably what it is. The third time's the charm there. Alright, so Zelfer on the bottom, and Christopher Warkin on the top. Now it looks like we're good to go. So again, people can find things for their teammates in their own worlds here. So it'll be interesting to see when that exactly happens, if we can get things for our other runners. So for the top runners, we have 3 free checks that are available to us, which means we don't have to fight any battles for it. That's at the Figaro Throne, at South Figaro Prisoner Spot, and at Zone Eater. For our bottom runners, we've got Lone Wolf as our only true free check here. So also, if you guys and girls and Moogles in the chat remember, the last time we tried doing one of these, there was a quite horrific seed for our runners. We have taken some fail-safe measures to ensure that this time there isn't hard progression at things like the dragons in Kefka's Tower or the auction house. So that is the only restriction in terms of where our rewards can be. We can't have characters at the auction house or to Zen Thief or in Kefka's Tower. But anywhere else is free game. Also, Lone Wolf 2 and Weapon Shop 2 also cannot be characters or espers either. They are items only. Alright, so Zelfer is going to be killing Sid here. So Sid has 120 HP, and he loses 1 HP per second. So if you do absolutely nothing for 2 minutes, then Sid will die. But in order to get Sid to croak faster, you're going to have to try and get the slow fish. And unfortunately, Zelfer picked up a fast fish with a slow fish. So slow fish will subtract HP, fast fishes will gain HP. So that's probably a wash there. But since he is losing 1 HP per second, he is slowly dying over time anyway. Alright, so Drinks Glue is doing his looting process first, while Zelfer is taking the 2 quests that we have to do and getting rid of them straight away. Performing in the opera and performing the opera and killing Sid. Stretch out his game a little bit there. And eventually Sid will just keel over and die when he's gotten the appropriate amount of fish stuck in his gullet. Alright, and it looks like One Free Fits has sent an Esper over to Drinks Glue. So Glue says, thank you very much for my Esper there. Alright, so Zelfer, having successfully killed off the war criminal, as some would like to have it known, means that he can continue on to actually start his seed with the looting and shopping phases that Worlds Collide is most known for. Meanwhile, Zelfer activating Lone Wolf here in World of Balanced Narsh. And let's see if Christopher Workin decides to go and pick up this this check here in the South Figaro prisoner spot. Or did he already do it and I missed it? He already did it and I missed it. So, found their own Seraphim there at South Figaro. So that is going to be 2 Espers, or rather 1 Esper apiece, with some of the free checks that we already know from our top runner. Zelfer doing some shopping, picking up a bunch of warp stones. Always useful and helpful. Ooh, strength +2 with ice 2 on that. So that's a pretty good Esper that Fitz sent over to Drinks Glue's way. So it looks like our text client is a little bit ahead of our stream, which I noticed happened on the last race as well. I will try and figure out a way to put a delay in somehow for the next stream. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but it is the only way that you could tell what items get sent between players, unfortunately, here. So Christopher Workin is going to send over an Esper there to Zelfer, who will be pretty happy with that Madwin because it's got that strength +2 and that ice 2 as well. So I anticipate that our runners will start doing some checks in just a little bit here as they're talking to one another and trying to figure out exactly where to go next. Alright, I think that was a monster in a box check there from Drinks Glue. Did not like what he saw, so he reset out. Meanwhile, that Seraphim is hot garbage for player 1. Ooh, here's a nice fight for our bottom runner. A pair of undead enemies on the screen. Just gotta hope that Umaro doesn't do too much annoyance here. So really nice for Drinks Glue finding this fight here in order to grind on, because you could just throw a couple of Phoenix Downs at this enemy and you could be out of here with some decent XP and some decent MP. 15 magic points. Already learned Flare from that, so I guess Mog also has natural magic to go along with that Esper that Glue put on. And it looks like Christopher Workin here is going to do the last of the free checks that he has available to him over for the Zone Eater. And oh no, a Dweller Fortress or Dueler Fortis battle, and down goes Celeste. So this might just be a run away from this fight. Meanwhile, Drinksglue's in the Coliseum, has a Blizzard Orb for Umaro, so allows him to use some magic, and is going to easily dispatch for a Cat Hood. So that's a pretty nice pickup. Will allow him to pick up the max amount of GP per fight. Looks like there's also a Mega Elixir available, and a Mirage Vest for a leather armor. That's a nice pickup, in case we do not find any sources of calmness protection for final Kefka. Meanwhile, Christopher Warkin is in Zone Eater. And gets knocked off the bridge. See you later. I should really have the Go-Go song here, or my my Go-Go cover theme song. Oh, he's getting greedy and going for the treasure chest on the other side here. Oh, it is a hero ring, though. I'll take that. Ooh, just barely makes it past the Crusher room there. Drinksglue, meanwhile, in Albrook, checking on some of the treasure here. Fortunately, not much in the relic shop there. One free fit's taken off the Moogle Charm, and it looks like it is Health Celeste with Sword Tech Edgar. So that's a pretty decent set of starting commands. Sword Tech is good for cutting through the high defense that these Delta Bugs have. And then Health is good because it means you don't have to buy a bunch of other stuff. Unfortunately, I think Christopher Warkin did take a wipe to the Ceiling Crusher. And just barely made it there. That's got to be very quick when you don't get the one cycle. And it looks like he's going to take the safe route this time and just skip over that last chest. I'm trying to keep the music themed, and we've got a Miranda sighting for Drinksglue. Heading over to the weapon shop and the armor shop that's in here. Armor shop's got a red jacket at least. Unfortunately, I didn't see anybody that could wear it, and some enhancers in the shop there. Christopher Warkin picking up their own Odin at Gogo's Cave. Alright, so Warkin is going to put 3 members of his party back in line here. Putting that enhancer on Celeste. Meanwhile, Drinksglue looks like he's going to take on the Opera House Dragon right away. Has got some levels underneath him. One free fits in the Coliseum. Is trying to get some ice rods for some bolt edges, but is running into an enemy that's not easy to kill here with Wooly. After learning Flare on Cyan, he decided that's going to be good enough, and it's a gem box at Tizen Thief for Zelfer. I think he spent around 20-something thousand for it, so he could probably sell it for actually more than the amount that he bought it from Tizen Thief. Alright, so Umaro with the Blizzard Orb, putting in work here early on for Drinksglue against this Dirt Durgan. And Mog just threw the last of the money out. Here comes Cyan with a Tempest, so a Tempest has a chance to replace your regular attack with Wind Slash. So he's going to hopefully find that a few more times here. Meanwhile, One Free Fitz is still in this Coliseum fight. And did we lose Zelfer? We might have temporarily lost Zelfer. His screen is just black now, so we'll see if we can get him back or if he comes back at some point. One Free Fitz eventually getting the Fire Rod. And there we go. Drinks Glue knocking out the first dragon of the seed. And it looks like they're getting an Aura Lance for their trouble, which is pretty nice because we already have Mog, and I believe he still has Dragoon Boots. Alright, so Zelfer unfortunately has gone offline on his stream, but it doesn't look like he's been disconnected from the multi-world, so hopefully we'll see him and his stuff pop up whenever it actually pops up. And here he is, he's back. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to have to add him again. So give me 1 second, chat, and I'll get him back. Meanwhile, Christopher Warkin taking off the Moogle Charm here to fight some enemies before getting some levels, and we'll see where his first move is. One Free Fitz taking a look at Zen Thief and realizing that's a lot of money. Alright, let's see if we got Zelfer back. Okay, we got him back, but he's miniature. And of course, as soon as I say it, he freezes again. There we go. Some more undead enemies here for Drinks Glue. He's really going to be feasting on these guys here, which is nice for him. Oh, I haven't been keeping track of checks, huh? So we do get the skip at 21 checks. Oh, this is a potentially nasty fight over here for Drinks Glue. We'll see if he gets through it. Because those retainers basically will counter with instant death on whatever character fights you. Christopher Warkin opting for one of Celeste's checks here at the Opera House. So this is the Opera House Disruption. So he could potentially go and do the Perform in an Opera immediately after this check, because it looks like he's just going to go right into it right here. Meanwhile, One Free Fitz is heading into a different Celeste check. And Drinks Glue looks like they're going over to Mount Zozo, which is one of Cyan's checks. So now that all the looting and shopping in the seed is done with, we're finally getting some checks in our hands here. Love to see it. Mount Zozo, of course, affords some loot on the way, which is one of the nice things about going to Mount Zozo early on in the seed versus later on. And Drinks Glue has the potential to take on a dragon here as well. Remember, dragons can net ourselves characters in Archipelago seeds. Meanwhile, Zelfer is going to do some grinding outside of Doma Siege. Looks like has the palette swap of the enemies that Fitz is dealing with there. Always interesting when that sort of happens in Worlds Collide. Let's see what this dragon is here for Drinks Glue. And it is the Ice Dragon. Meanwhile, some ninjas for Christopher Warkin. Let's see if he can get through this fight. Because if it does, then it will net him some very good things. Alright, that is Ice Dragon down there for Drinks Glue. And One Free Fits looks like they're heading into the Magitech factory after getting that grind plus heal there. It is Shote going over to One Free Fits there, and that's a second dragon down for Drinks Glue. Shote, Bolt 3 and Berserk, so that's a really nice Esper to have for your other runner there. And Drinks Glue is going to get either another item for himself or something for his teammate One Free Fits. So that's the thing with Archipelago Multi-World, is that the items that are for your other runner are considered items. They're not considered espers or characters in the game. So you have to wait in order to actually see what it is first. And it is a set of fixed dice to One Free Fits. So we'll have to see if one of his party members can actually use it. It looks like it's not Edgar and it's not Celeste, but Gogo can use the fixed dice. So that's a really nice usage from Gogo there. Couple of boss fights though on the right side of the screen for Team Christopher Warkin and Team Zelfer here. It is Sriracha, Senior, Senor, Scrontium, Super Behemoth, and it is the Chad. Chad the Bad for Christopher Warkin on his side. Narapa is the first boss of the Magitech factory here for One Free Fits. So since we are going by our standard race rules, you do end up unlocking the Magitech upgrade by heading all the way through the Magitech factory. We do not have a Magitech user yet, but maybe we might get one in the near future. Meanwhile, the trip to the Coliseum, uneventful there for Drinks Glue on that time. Meanwhile, Narapa taking care of Gogo. Wonder what Gogo did to deserve that. But Gogo is going to be instrumental for Fitz because Gogo is the one that can equip the fixed dice early on here. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue is just going to go to the Umaro checks here. As Zelfer completes his second check, finding their own ice shield. And unfortunately, both Celeste and Gogo are down from Batternook, as Christopher Warkin is finding out real fast. Trying to get Celeste up, because Celeste does have that health command, and unfortunately, down goes Go-Go again. One Free Fits does, however, get past Narapa, finally. And is going to be rewarding Drinks Glue with Celeste. So this is rather unfortunate for Drinks Glue, because Celeste, Celeste is not going to be available to him unless he heads to the airship. So it's going to be a little bit before Drinks Glue is actually going to be able to pick Celeste up. Meanwhile, the same undead enemies is what Zelfer is running into over here on his screen. Chatternook fight still going on, but at least Go-Go is back up now. And it's Storm Durgan for Drinks Glue, so that's his third dragon. Really putting the Dragon Hunter moniker to test here. Meanwhile, I don't know if you hear that, but that is a lot of rain that's going on outside right now. Holy cow. Third dragon for Drinks Glue, sending Strago over to One Free Fits. So again, One Free Fits is going to have the problem of having a character, but not being able to access them in the middle of their Magitech factory check. Sorry, was just closing the door over there. Hoping to keep the noise out. Ooh, down goes Celeste for Christopher Warkin. Still on this Chatternook fight. Fight just takes a while here. One Free Fits getting another Esper for their trouble. So he's up to 4 characters, 3 Espers. And it looks like Zelfer is heading over to Mount Zozo here. So he will do the dragon and give Shote over to Christopher Warkin. And then may also give over the fixed dice. And it looks like One Free Fits is continuing on the Magitech factory. This is a smart play here. It makes sense. And it looks like Shadow is the reward for Drinks Glue. So that's not something you normally see, as he is able to get Celeste, and wow, Celeste has Magitech for the bottom runner. The jackpot, folks, for that. And it looks like he's going to get Shadow back in and swap Cyan out of the party there. Christopher Warkin still battling with Chatternook here. Just doesn't have enough DPS.
A few moments later.
Alright, we are back live. I just have to scramble and put all the pieces back together. But we are back, folks. A little bit of the power outage there from my side of things. Not fun. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get us back here. So you'll have to bear with me for just a second as I get all of our runners back on screen, as I get all of our all of our stuff back online. So it's going to take me a minute or so, but I promise we will be back. Let's see, and then we need... Alright, so let's crop Mr. Warkin up here. There we are. So now you're seeing a little behind the scenes look on how it gets going on as One Free Fits puts his Strago into his party. Makes sense. Gonna want to have another character for him. How's Glue looking? Glue's screen is looking pretty good, actually. Same thing with Fitz. It's just going to be now trying to get them back. Alright, so we got one text client back. My house was hit with a Bolt 3 spell there. And hopefully that's the last one I'll have to endure. Chatternook fight took so long for Christopher Walken to bleed it over into real life. Alright. So let's make sure we got the right windows here. Alright, so it looks like Christopher Walken picked up Realm somewhere. Or somebody gave him Realm at some point. One Free Fits is on 5 Espers. I'm just going based off of their tracker here. That's the 6 check for Drinks Glue. And he's still at 5 and 1. Christopher Walken's at 4 and 4 with 4 checks. So that is right. And Zelfer's on 3 and 1 with 5 checks. And 1 dragon, it looks like. So our tracking is up to date. It's just a matter of now I got to crop them all properly again here. And hopefully we should be good. But again, depending upon how bad this Funbaba fight goes, because Funbaba will counter everything with lightning magic. But thank goodness Zelfer's got it. Very nicely done from Zelfer there. Alright, and I think we've got everything there, as Drinks Glue picks up their own gem box. So that's another check for them. One Free Fits is in Famasa, because he does have Strago, remember? So Strago does open up Burning House, and it's one of One Free Fits' favorite checks. So he is back. Meanwhile, Zelfer sending over a pair of Espers to his teammate. So very quickly, Christopher Walken picks up 2 more of those, and Zelfer picks up 2 more checks. Alright. Glue was going back to Miranda for some reason. I'm not quite sure what he saw there. And it looks like Zelfer is heading up to the World of Ruin Narsh. So this might be his Umaro checks. And remember, that's going to give himself a character with Shadow at the Tritok spot. Didn't get to see what was at the Umaro spot, because I'm assuming Drinks Glue went through and continued onwards and did Yeti Cave. Zelfer gonna dive right into the Storm Durgan here. And in the Burning House, it's a bunch of Mad Oscars and Exo Rays. This is not a half bad fight here, because that Exo Ray enemy is undead, so you can throw a Revivify at it. And Mad Oscars are weak to fire, so if we got some fire spells, we can certainly go get that. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue, noticing that Celeste has Magitech as her command, is heading right into the Magitech factory. I don't blame him here one bit with this play. If you get the chance to unlock the full Magitech upgrade, you might as well take it as soon as you can. Anyway, chat, how's everybody doing? Sorry about the hiccup there. Alright, so that is Strago for Christopher Warkin from that ice dragon. That's a second dragon down for Zelfer. And it looks like Christopher Warkin is trying to make sure he keeps up with scaling here. Took off the Moogle Charm, perhaps, and is doing some grind fights here. It looks like Realm must have the dance ability, or maybe the rage ability, based on the fact that she looks like she's pretty upsetty spaghetti here. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue finds out the bad news that it is Chatternook in the Magitech factory. That's the second Chatternook sighting we've seen across the two seeds. And that is Shadow there for Zelfer at the Tritok spot. Gonna be happy to see that. Meanwhile, Inferno is the boss at the end of the burning house. Oh my goodness, that is a disaster. That is really, really awful. Alright, so Zelfer jumping down into the Yeti Cave. I unfortunately lost power for a half a second while Drinks Glue was doing this, so I don't know what this reward is, so we'll be able to see what it is. And Fitz goes and sends Unicorn over to player 1, or rather Drinks Glue, which is desperately needed. The bottom runners are lacking in shiny stones as of now. Alright, and we're going to stay in suspense as we don't know what this is until the end there. And it looks like the rich get richer, as it's another Esper going over to our top runner at Magitech Factory number 1 here. And it is Welk as the boss at the Yeti spot. Life 2 and Strength +1 on that Unicorn that came over from the Burning House. That is a nice one there. And it looks like that's a soldier at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower, so that's either an item for 1 free Fitz or something for his partner. Meanwhile, it's Doom here at Esper Mountain. Ice magic is not going to work against Doom. Doom absorbs ice, but is weak to Pearl. And I know we have that Ogre Rage there from Christopher Warkin, so it looks like Rage is what Realm has. Meanwhile, it's Ifrit heading over to our top runner there. So that's another Esper for Zelfer, sending it over to Christopher Warkin. Meanwhile, it's the Ghost Train here for Drinks Glue. And unfortunately, we don't have somebody with Blitz to suplex this train. Crusader at Gal Manor there for Zelfer. Nice pickup for him. And that's a Valiant Knife for Drinks Glue there at the second part of the Magitech Factory. So we'll see if anybody can use it. And it looks like Shadow can use it. So that is really nice. And that's what he will be doing for the rest of the seed there. Because he's already got the offering too. Wow. Meanwhile, 1 free Fitz takes care of the Dirk Durgan. At the White Dragon spot. And that is yet another Esper for Drinks Glue. A welcome Esper, because our bottom players really haven't had a lot of Espers thus far. Belt Cave for Zelfer. This is another one of Shadow's checks. And it's on to the minecart ride for Drink's Glue. Now remember, Drink's Glue has Celeste, and Celeste has the Magitech ability. Meanwhile, One Free Fits finds an Esper stuffed in a chest at the top of Fanatic's Tower. Has to beat this boss in order to make sure that they get their phantoms. So, 2 phantoms are actually in Fanatic's Tower. One at the dragon and one at the gem box spot. It's not often you see that, folks. And meanwhile, this looks like an Ultros Chupon at the top of Fanatic's Tower. Thankfully, this is not too bad of a matchup here with only being able to rely on magic, as that Bolt 3 is doing a lot of damage there. Oh no, Madam Outsider for Drink's Glue. And this might just be a straight up wipe, because those ninjas will counter any attack with throw, and they use throw on their regular turn, and oh my goodness, Mog survives with 76 HP. Wow. Incredible. Zelfer, meanwhile, sending Starlet over to Christopher Warkin. And ooh, Drink's Glue having to take a reset on the minecart ride there. I was looking away for just a split second, so that must have been another Madam Outsider fight. You run from those fights unless you can instant death the ninjas. Alright, let's see what's at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower here for One Free Fits. We know that it's either going to be an Esper or item for himself, or something for his teammate. And it looks like it's Sabin over to Drink's Glue. So, opening up some more checks for his teammate there. Ooh, these Madam Outsiders. Run away. Run away fast. Alright, Lone Wolf it is for Zelfer. Cleaning up some of Mog's checks here at the top of Norsh. And of course, the screen is frozen for Zelfer. I cannot see what he got as the reward there. Oh, okay. It says it in the AP chat, thankfully. So, Lone Wolf 1 is just a Magus Rod for Christopher Warkin. I think he'll be pretty happy with that, because at this point, he has a lot of progression and not a lot of levels, which is why some of these fights are taking an obscenely long amount of time for him. Because you see, he's only done 4 checks, but he has 13 pieces of progression. Another Ultros Chupon fight here for Drink's Glue. So we've seen Ultros Chupon in both seeds, and we've seen Chatternook in both seeds. And there it is, Doom finally down for Christopher Warkin. And does send an Esper over to Zelfer, thankfully. So Zelfer is finally getting some shiny stones. And oh no, it's Magimaster on our bed of pasta, but thankfully we've learned Berserk. Oh, we got another flash of light. I'm hoping that the power doesn't go out again. And it looks like Drinks Glue has picked up Tritalk at the crane spot, but it is a dabbing Yeti. I wonder if Zelfer is heading the same storm issues that I'm having here. That would explain a few things, huh, chat? Alright, let's see if we can get Zelfer back online here. Because it looks like his stream is back up and going. Meanwhile, Zelfer did complete Kefka at Narsh, and it looks like Umaro is headed over to Christopher Warkin's way. So that is 8 characters, or rather 6 characters, 8 espers for him here. It looks like he's going to do the party reform. Alright, let's see if we can get Zelfer back here. There we go. Moogle defense for Zelfer. Meanwhile, only leader there at Moogle defense, so a bit of a break. Well, Drinks Glue gets a Genji helmet from One Free Fits. Not exactly what we're looking for. But Drinks Glue did find their Tritalk. And it looks like Zelfer found his own realm. So it opens up some more checks for him. So both of our team on the right has Realm, and neither of the team on the left have Realm. So that's an interesting dynamic there. Realm going immediately in the party here. I don't know what she had, but it looks like we got an experience egg at least on Shadow there for the bottom runner. Christopher Warkin taking off the Moogle Charm, hoping to get some grind fights in here, because his other character came in at level 3, which is not exactly great, and his party is only level 20. Meanwhile, his scaling is 28. So he's going to have to gain some levels somehow. So maybe for him, a good idea would be go do a dragon or two. It's too bad that Zelfer has already done the Kill Sid and Opera House objectives, because otherwise I would be telling Zelfer to stall a little bit if I was Christopher Warkin. Alright, so it looks like we're going to see a Opera House Dragon play for Zelfer here. And we're going to see a different kind of dragon play for One Free Fits, as he's in the Ancient Castle after getting through Magimaster for just a paltry Genji helmet. Alright, just a Magus Rod at Ancient Castle, so that is a check for One Free Fits. And it is a gold Durgan here, and we do not have any thunder resistance on his side, so he's just going to eat that AoE attack, unfortunately. Alright, a couple of ice 2s at the Dirt Dragon. So the Dirt Dragon's actually weak to water. And also poisoned. So he got poisoned to death right there. So nice heads-up play from Zelfer. Taking out that third Durgan of his. Getting their own Aura Lance. Which who knows if that'll be helpful or not. Meanwhile, Narapa is got the Condemned counter on everybody but Realm and Umaro. And unfortunately, that means that Edgar and Celeste are going to die. And Realm is Rage, so there's no way to get those two back in the fight. And it just goes from bad to worse here. Because it is a Water Edge, and Narapa nullifies out Water. Oh no, Roulette! Let's go! Oh, what a way to finish that fight up, huh? One Free Fitz finds a behemoth suit for Drink's Glue there at the Ancient Castle Dragon. And Zelfer now is going to pick up Celeste. Remember, that is that Magitech Celeste. So we'll see if Zelfer goes ahead and, yeah, he's already got Celeste in the party. So let's see if he immediately makes a beeline over to the Magitech facility. Meanwhile, Ultros 3 is what's at the second spot in the Magitech factory. Drink's Glue leaning into the Sabin checks. Heading over to Imperial Camp here. Oh, and getting the double Gigantos. So Gigantos can be instant death, and with Drink's Glue's Magitech upgrade, he could use Xfer, and it looks like he's got Mog jumping as well. So he's at least got two really good setups between upgraded Magitech and the jumper, and it looks like he's also got Valiant Knife offering for Shadow. Plus, he's also got Umaro for some reason. It's just an economizer in the South Figaro prisoner spot there for Zelfer. He has been using magic an awful lot in his party, so at least that will be somewhat helpful for him. Alright. Imperial Camp, I think, is about to be wrapping up very shortly here for Drink's Glue. Of course, I say that, and he's got two more fights to go, so never mind. He's just halfway through now. One Free Fitz, meanwhile, is at the top of Narsh. Does he have Umaro? He does not have Umaro. So this is just to go get the Dragon and the Tritox spot. And there it is. Ultros backing up a little bit. And then just falling over. So that is Maduin there for Christopher Warkin. And the minecart ride will definitely help him out here at the Magitech factory. That will hopefully get some levels underneath him, because Christopher Warkin is already in go mode. He did not get the Kefka unlock message because he has not done the Perform in an Opera or Kill Sid yet, but he's got the requirements at least there. Another Dragon down for One Free Fitz, and another Esper over to Drink's Glue. Meanwhile, Drink's Glue sends Gao over to One Free Fitz from Imperial Camp. So that's some more options for One Free Fitz to do. Meanwhile, Chatternook is our first boss here at Magitech Factory for our bottom runner. And I believe Phantom Train is the second one. So we'll see that one after Chatternook. The Grabby Bear, though, taking some taking some GP. And it looks like Christopher Warken has learned Ultima from one of his espers somewhere. So hopefully that will get him back in the swing of things here as well. Alright, so Chatternook is down for Zelfer. Three Stooges at the top of Norsh for 1 free Fitz. And SR Behemoth here at Doma Siege for Drinks Glue. The Owl...
A few moments later.
Okay, so I think we're back. I don't know what the heck happened and why we went down again. My OBS just decided, hey, we're gonna time you out. Or time out on you, rather. Well, that's another Esper for Drinks Glue, right? At the Ice Dragon? No. Did I miss? No. I thought I had missed what the reward was there. Okay, there we go. So I did lose my connection. There we go. I was wondering what the heck happened there. Yeah, unfortunately, this is what happens when you have, when you've got some storms in the lurch. And it looks like Drinks Glue, jumping off the waterfall, is going to find Palador here at the bottom of Barren Falls. So it's up to 6 Espers. And Christopher Warken gets another Esper for their troubles. Zelfer finished the Magitech Factory number 2, and that was a Valiant Knife, remember, for himself. That's where Drinks Glue got his. Ifrit and Shiva at the end of the Magitech Factory for Christopher Warken. If I remember correctly, the the encounters on here are pretty nasty. There's a Doom Durgan. Alright, Drinks Glue picking up that economizer that we saw earlier in the South Figaro basement. Realm unfortunately hitting the deck for this Ifrit Shiva fight again. So she will not get the XP, but Warken will get his 10th Esper there from this fight. Oh, excuse me, he's at 11 Espers, my bad. And I think Zelfer is gone once again. I think Zelfer accidentally maximized his window. There we go. It should go back to normal in just a second here. Christopher Warken picking up an Aura Lance for himself. One free Fitz is on the Velt. Remember, he found Gao. Or rather, Drinks Glue found Gao for him. And it looks like Shadow shows up on the Velt for 1 free Fitz. That's going to be another character for him. That is his 6th character. He just needs to get a couple of more Espers in order to get Go mode here. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue sending a Pearl Lance over to 1 free Fitz, so that's another check for Drinks Glue. Ebbett's Rock is what Christopher Walken is going to do here. I like this play. I also probably, with him being, you know, pretty behind in levels, I would suspect a Burning House play would also be one that you might want to do as well. And Drinks Glue here, with having 6 characters, is going to head into Kefka's tower, it looks like. Yeah, so Drinks Glue is going to go and try and take out the Inferno boss, and maybe take on the Toilet Atmos spot, because remember, those are checks. And the dragons as well. Gem box there for 1 free fit, sending that over to Glue. All right, let's see what Christopher Walken is going to take on. And oh no, it's Doomgaze. Half the team goes down right away. And Yeti has the Blizzard Orb, which is going to heal Doomgaze. Yikes. Not the proper setup for this fight for Christopher Walken. Hopefully he can get some of his other characters up and swinging. Meanwhile, Zelfer is fighting an Umaro. So get your Dab and Yetis out if you got them. 1 free fits now heading through the Serpent Trench. Gao's other check. Nice block there from Edgar on the Doom from Doomgaze. And it's Rexol here at the Inferno spot, I believe this is. Quite unfortunate that Drinks Glue has Umaro, who cannot properly target the right part of this fight. Meanwhile, that is the 4th Esper for Zelfer, and more importantly for him, he's getting the Magitech upgrade. Realms Esper Mountain, meanwhile, is going to give him his own Go-Go. So that's going to open up another check for Zelfer here to do. And it is Flame Eater as the boss. Another check down for Drinks Glue there. He's at 16 checks, excuse me. Doing the Toilet Atmos spot. And that is Flame Eater dead. KT skip there for Zelfer because he's got 21 checks. Finding their Go-Go over at Esper Mountain. And that is Vargas dead, easily for Drinks Glue, dispatching of Vargas. Serpent Trench is over here for 1 free fits, so we'll see what he gets at the end of it. And it is an Illumina for Drinks Glue. Drinks Glue is going to be pretty happy about that. Can use that with Celeste for definite, and hopefully one of his other characters might be able to do it as well. Although his party, remember, is our Jumping Mog, our Tech Missile Celeste, our Valiant Knife Offering for Shadow, and then Umaro. And there it is, Doomgaze finally down for Christopher Walken. Is going to find their own force armor, so not exactly what he's looking for there. Drinksglue taking out another dragon here. So it's another dragon and another check for a flame shield. Zelfer finally getting past those those Chancellors up on the Zone Eater Bridge. Alright, so it looks like Christopher Walken is parked right outside of Thamasa here, so this could be a Casa del Fuego or Burning House play. We saw One Free Fits do that earlier on. Don't quite remember what it was. And it is Bahamut for Zelfer, so Zelfer picking up his own Espers here with Osmos on it as well. Bahamut's just a great summon to have in general. Alright, another dragon dead, and it's just going to be a Pearl Lance there for Drinksglue. But the good thing is Drinksglue has cleared out at least one of the bosses here, and we'll see if he takes a look and keeps going through Kefka's tower. It looks like he's going to continue on through Kefka's tower here. So he does have a two-man crew in party number 2 and a two-man crew in party number 3. So perhaps the thought process here is, let's clear out as much of KT as possible now. And when we come back, I only have to fight one more boss. And as we suspected, Christopher Walken into the Burning House, the Casa del Fuego here. And is this floating continent for Zelfer? I believe it is. So Zelfer is still looking for some Espers here. He's got 5 out of the required 9. Couple of undead enemies here for Zelfer on the way up to the floating continent. Always nice to see that. Just throw some Revivifies on it. And wow, we've got some spicy chicken. Who ordered the hot wings in chat? I believe this is on the Guardian spot. Drinksglue is going to go ahead and crack that Pearl Rod that he found in Kefka's tower. And meanwhile, just going to blast it down here with Tech Missile. So the thing about Poltergeist is that he has very high physical defense, plus he has auto-safe. So Mog jumping with pretty much anything that doesn't ignore defense is not going to be nearly as effective as him throwing rods at the problem. So that's why Drinksglue's opted for that. And down hit the deck goes Mog. Alright, one free fit starting the Opera House disruption. So we did see Christopher Walken do this way back earlier in the seed there. And it is Kefka, just a stone's throw away where we have to fight him later on in the seed. Interesting that he's come down to hang out. How's it going, DoMap? Hopefully you're enjoying the action here. If you do want to watch former races or maybe instructional videos on how to play Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Randomizer, that is a link to our YouTube channel there. And oh no, it's Magimaster in the sky! So that's our second Magimaster sighting of the seed. We saw it on the Top Runners. And unfortunately for Zelfer, we do not have Berserk, unlike when we fought Magimaster in One Free Fitz's case. Gonna crack that Thunder Rod, do your highest your highest elemental damage first, and then hit him off with that non-elemental stuff like your flares, your tech missiles, your GP rains. So Zelfer with a good strategy here against Magimaster. Meanwhile, One Free Fitz is seeing that there's a couple of ninjas running around the rafters of our opera house. Ifrit and Shiva was the boss for Drinks Glue over on the right-hand side of the statues. We'll see if he saves and takes a peek at what the boss is for the left-hand side statue, which is the only one that he has left to do. Magimaster down for Zelfer. And it looks like Zelfer is going to go ahead and send an Esper over to Christopher Walken. Right reward, wrong recipient. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue is going to start the save and kill Sid scenario here. So in order to kill Sid, as I mentioned earlier, Sid will lose 1 HP every second, and he has 120 HP to start off with after you talk to him the first time. In order to kill Sid, you want to feed him those slow fish there. Those slow fish will decrease his HP. The fast fish will increase his HP. And those medium fish will sometimes decrease his HP and sometimes increase it, but not nearly as much as these super slow or super fast fish. So it's kind of a 50-50 when you have some of the medium pace fishes. I think you can tell the difference between the two, but I'm not very good at it. Meanwhile, Go-Go looks like they're doing the jumping with the Dragon Horn and the fixed dice there for One Free Fitz. So easily dispatching that Chatternook that took a very long time for Christopher Walken to defeat earlier on in the seed. And they're going to be rewarded with some calmness protection. That's Golem at the end of the Opera House disruption. Justin Ultros there at the Atma weapon spot, and that is another Esper for Zelfer with Shiva. So finally getting rewarded here. Drinks Glue here, trying to get at that slow fish. So that's one of the annoying things about the slow fish is they move slow, and sometimes they get stuck way out in the ocean where you can't go get it. So in those instances, you might as well check back on Sid and see if you can get him to die. Or, like Drinks Glue does, if you walk back out and come back in, you can reload the screen. So that'll keep the same fishes there, but they'll be in different spots. If you want to change the fishes that are in the water, you have to talk to Sid. Alright, unfortunately Zelfer's feed looks like it's taking a nap at the moment. But after the burning house, Christopher Warken sends over another Esper to Zelfer. So Christopher Warken, now in go mode, and Kefka Tower skip actually with that 12th Esper, only has to kill Sid and then perform in an opera. So it looks like he's going to take on some dragons perhaps to get some extra levels and learn some spells. I like this idea. And he's got to do those 2 quests before unlocking Final Kefka. Meanwhile, Fitz takes on a dragon and sends over an Esper to Drink's Glue. So Drink's Glue will be happy about that because he is looking for those Espers. So he's now at 7. Blue Durgan is down for Christopher Warken there, and it looks like one free Fitz is going to go and take his time to do the killing of the Sid objective here. Alright, let's see if we can get Zelfer back online here. Alright, so that's another Esper for Zelfer from Christopher Warken, and more importantly for him, that is his first dragon there. One free fish trying to get up the slow fish, but is getting blocked by the faster fish. Meanwhile, Drink's Glue sent the realm over to player 1. So that was in Cyan's Dream number 1. We saw Zelfer do that a very long time ago. Alright, meanwhile, Zelfer is in the Opera House disruption and, wow, gets presenters as the forced encounter here. You hate to see it happen. This one's not fun for anybody involved. You can, however, instant death it, and that's what Zelfer decides to do, and once the head is gone, the shell should be basically dead in just a second here after a counterattack. You can also use break as well as instant death. Alright, so got the white dragon here for Christopher Warken. And we got another dead presenter, leaving some escargot all over the top of the Opera House there. Dragon dead for Christopher Warken, so that's another check for him, and I believe that is Esper number 9 for Zelfer. So he's going to run away from this fight. And final Kefka unlock is complete, as you see, because Christopher Warken finally sent another Esper here. So Zelfer, all he has to do is get through this boss and then head into Kefka's tower at the skip. Excuse me. Rexel down for Drink's Glue, so that's going to be his check number 20. Sending Esper number 9 over to one free Fitz. So that's going to be Fitz's go mode. once it registers on his screen. He does have to do one encounter or run away from one encounter, as you saw Zelfer doing. And since he's at 20 checks, he's going to do one last check in order to get his Kefka Tower skip. So that's Drinks Glue getting his KT skip with getting to 21 checks. But Drinks Glue still needs 2 Espers, unfortunately. So he's got to go find them or help Fit or have Fitz find it for him. So Drinks Glue looks like he's going to do some peekable checks. Now, if it is an Esper for yourself at this check, you will see an Esper on the ground. But if it's an Esper or some sort of reward for the other player, then you'll see an NPC on the ground here at the Veld Cave. Doom down at the end of the Opera House for Zelfer. Christopher Workin getting a Thunder Shield for his troubles there at Tri-Talk. And since he's got go mode, he's going to warp out here. I don't blame him. Going to take a stop at the Coliseum. Quick sneak peek there. Zelfer picking up their 10th Esper there with Bismarck. Ooh. Ice 3 Osmos Ultima. That is a nice looking spell there. Minerva there at the Coliseum, but not much else that I saw. Meanwhile, one free Fitz is going to take out Doom there. And oh no, it's a white Durgan that you'll have to fight in the Coliseum for it. I think Christopher Workin will probably be fine though. Drinks Glue sending a Esper over. And meanwhile, Drinks Glue getting his 9th Esper there. I believe from Drinks Glue. So that was Kieran at Esper Mountain. Although it only says 8 on his tracker, so maybe that was not. Maybe that was KT Skip unlocked for 1 free Fitz. Looks like Zelfer is heading into Kefka's Tower now. Is he going to leave Yeti on the airship? I probably would have. No cap. That's alright. Zelfer heading in at the switches. Our first person at the Kefka Tower switches. But remember, Drinks Glue already took care of most of Kefka's Tower. And that was with an early dip into KT. Question from the chat: where do you get the tools to make this ROM? So, in order to play Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Randomizer, you can check out our website, ff6worldscollide.com. And basically, you need a Final Fantasy III US ROM. You could do a quick internet search for how to get a copy of that. And then you use the website to generate seeds. In order to use multi-world, you need to download another program called Archipelago. And that's archipelago.gg is the website for that. And there are instructions on how to set up a multi-world instance of Archipelago. Drinks Glue, meanwhile, finding his Go Mode Esper at Gao Manor. So he's in Go Mode. Remember, he's done most of the bosses in Kefka's Tower. So the question is, what is multi-world? So multi-world is basically where you have 2 players running 2 different ROMs, but the world is connected together. So in other words, player A can give items to player B and vice versa. So that's the multi-world aspect of what you're watching. But if you just want to play the Final Fantasy VI Randomizer, ff6worldscollide.com is where you'd go. And you do have to have a US Final Fantasy III version 1.0 ROM. Alright, so Zelfer taking care of business with the first boss in Kefka's tower. Christopher Walken, meanwhile, still has to kill Sid and perform in an opera in order to unlock Final Kefka. I completely forgot that he has not done this yet. So he's still got to do this, and in order to refresh the fish in the pond, he's got to go back and talk to Sid, because there weren't any fish that showed up, and now there are. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue getting the skip and only has one more boss to kill, and that's going to be Goddess, or rather the Doom statue spot here on the left-hand side. Yeah, so one of the great things about Worlds Collide, and I'm sure other people in the chat will chime in, is that you can actually get a full, well, not a full, but you'll get a decent playthrough of the game in, you know, about 2 hours, 3 hours maybe if you are newer. And it's not going to be the entire game like you would be if you were doing the Pixel Remaster or some other ROM hacks like T Edition or whatever. But it gives you enough of a bite-sized piece of Final Fantasy VI in a manageable time frame that it keeps it exciting and fresh. In addition, the randomness makes it so that each time you play the game, it's always something different. It's not the same exact thing that you are always playing. So all of our runners have Kefka Tower skip. Christopher Walken has it because of 13 Espers. Only sending in 3 characters. I think this is a mistake. Unless he's doing it just to scout out what the statues are. One Free Fitz, meanwhile, heading into the Kefka Tower skip here. He's got all of his bosses to clear out. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue has cleared out all of the bosses already, so he's actually going to be our first runner into Final Kefka. Ifrit and Shiva fight down for Zelfer there. Somehow Christopher Walken got a random Valiant knife. Okay, that's odd. I'm not quite sure how that happened or why that happened. But he's not going to complain about that. Alright, so Drinks Glue is our first runner up to Final Kefka. So remember, chat, in this seed, let me pull up the things here. It is average team time is going to win the race. So if Drinks Glue finishes first, One Free Fitz cannot finish in 4th. Otherwise, we have to go time it. I don't quite know what Christopher Walken is doing. He reset out of that fight and is going somewhere else for the time being. I don't know what he's looking for exactly. Alright, and with our Kefka fight,
that gum's dull.
Let's go ahead and get our Dancing Mad going as soon as this ad is done. And there we go. Where is some of the lo-fi Gao themes and stuff like that from? I will look it up and get back to you here. Some of them I've downloaded from different albums. So there's one called J'adore Vibes, which might have that. There's also one called Zozo Dreaming, but I don't think either one of those has a Gao theme. There's another one called Esper Lo-Fi, and that one is the one that has Gao's theme. So if you take a look on Spotify, Esper space L-O-F-I, I think that's the Gao song. And with Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, the learn rates for espers are randomized. So you could learn certain spells at a much quicker rate than you can in the vanilla game, or sometimes a slower rate, depending upon what the seed rolls for you. So it looks like Christopher Walken here is heading through Bowser's Mansion, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe he feels like he needs some more levels. Meanwhile, Zelfer is hanging out here waiting for the okay from Christopher Walken to start this fight, and it looks like he got the okay. So Zelfer starting his final Kefka fight as well. Okay, so if you have Spotify, this usually is the playlist that I pull a lot of my stuff from. Alright, so that's a cat hood for Christopher Walken. Three out of 4 frozen. Celeste is zombied, and Umaro is the only one standing for Drinks Glue. Yikes! Thankfully, though, this S-Cross will thaw out his entire party. Except Celeste will still be a zombie, so we're gonna have to watch out for that, as she has Tech Missile, and oh no! Down goes Shadow! Alright, let's get Celeste to stop throwing missiles at our party. Who does she think she is? Samus? Samus? Alright, out comes 10 hits here. And we gotta get Shadow back in the fight. Remember, his Shadow has Valiant Knife offering, so just using a Phoenix down on Shadow should be good enough. But unfortunately, it looks like he has no access to mute, so magic, just doing magic-like things, as of course it does. Meanwhile, One Free Fitz is having a heck of a time with the grabby pasta here. Tentacles are one of the worst things to find in Kefka's Tower, and it's just because they take such a long time. You're not really in danger of dying with this fight, it's just how long is it going to take you to actually get through it. Because not only do they grab you and make you not take turns, but they use slow when they use their Seize ability, and just basically slows you down altogether anyway. Zelfer up to tier 2 meanwhile, using our fully unlocked Magitech Celeste here in order to take care of tools. I don't know if he has mute or not. I know that one of our runners has Siren somewhere. And oh no, it's a triple quarter! And Mog is still frozen. Or is frozen yet again. Meanwhile, look at the damage from Shadow. 20,000 HP down in one turn for him. So Glue just has to be careful here, because if magic attacks, or if Yeti procs a counterattack that isn't quarter, and oh no, we're reducing our levels even more. That's good for Shadow. It's not good for anybody else on his team, though. And just as a reminder, we are doing total team time wins. So normally in Worlds Collide races, whoever finishes first, right? But with a team, it is the average team time or even the combined team time. Up to tier 3 for Drinks Glue. Zelfer's still on tier 2. Christopher Warkin fighting this Guardian spot, so he's got, I think, 1 boss down, whereas One Free Fitz has 3 bosses down, because One Free Fitz took out the middle path first, whereas Christopher Warkin took out the left side path first. We're going to stay on tier, tier 3 in our song for a little while longer while we still have it. And here it is, the ascent up to the final part. Atma weapon down for Christopher Warkin. One Free Fitz taking down the Goddess statue spot. So we are almost at the statue time for the final fight for One Free Fitz. Christopher Warkin has to step on it a little here in order to catch up to One Free Fitz. Unfortunately, Shadow goes down for Drinks Glue. Did he have life 3? I thought he might have had life 3. I know our top runners have Golem. I wasn't sure if our bottom runners had access to Fenrir or something else. Meanwhile, Fallen One coming out for Drinks Glue. Mog was able to jump over it, but the rest of his team is not looking so healthy here. Experience Egg in the validation chest for Christopher Warkin. Insane. It's a little late for that now. Meanwhile, One Free Fitz starting his final Kefka fight as Christopher Warkin hopefully will take care of these tentacles and a couple of Ultimas, and thankfully equipped, it looks like maybe the Marvel shoes or something that gives Celeste haste. So that makes that Tentacles fight way easier for him than One Free Fitz. Goner coming out for Kefka, and that's going to be the end of Cyan. Was not able to get the Palador Sonic Dive off in time to save his Cyan. Meanwhile, Kefka strictly in counterattack phase now here for Drinks Glue. So Mog's heading back up in the air, and Umaro and Celeste have to be careful when they come down. Swing and a miss from Umaro. You hate to see it happen. However, that is the flash, the boom shakalaka, the crack pow. Drinks Glue finishes first of our runners, 144.39. However, this race is not over yet, folks, as Zelfer is right behind him on tier 3, and neither one of his other runner or his teammate has finished yet. Alright, so it looks like Zelfer was able to effectively dodge from Calmness there, and is going to be heading up to Final Kefka. Christopher Warkin getting through Welk, so he's going to be at Final Kefka very shortly, but One Free Fitz is already up to tier 2. So Christopher Warkin has to step on it if he's going to want to catch up and help out his team here, because remember, it's total team time with Multi-World. So the right team versus the left team, and Zelfer is going to be in second place. So Christopher Warkin has to finish in third for his team to win this match. Green Monkey, yes, there is a Treasure Sanity version of Worlds Collide for Multi-World Archipelago, where you could actually share not just the rewards between your team, but your treasure chests between your team. The thing with Treasure Sanity is that it doesn't separate rewards from treasure. So you could find an Esper in a chest, for instance, or you could find a character in a chest. And it's not really fun to watch, in a race setting. That's more for like a casual play, if you will, for that sort of thing. So that's why we do it as a non-treasure sanity version for, a racing setting. I'm joined by Drinks Glue. GG's on your first place overall. And now that you're looking at my screen, you could see that One Free Fitz is ahead of Christopher Warkin, and you just barely beat out Zelfer with your time as well.
Yeah, Fitz will be joining us very shortly because he's very powerful, and you cannot convince me otherwise. You did not know there was 2 Madam Outsider fights back to back down there. I know you knew. Well, I know you knew the entire time we were waiting.
Well, that's the awful thing about that fight, right? Is that the Outsiders are so fast that they usually get their turn first. And what they do with every single turn is they throw stuff at you. While Zelfer finishes 147-48, and oh no, we got flashbacks of your tier 2, triple frozen for One Free Fitz as well.
He'll be fine. He's fine. He's got Go-Go. That's all you need.
Everything's fine. He'll be fine. So, Christopher Warkin has to finish 3 minutes and 10 seconds ahead of One Free Fitz for the right team to win. One Free Fitz just has to beat Christopher Warkin for your team to win here. So, tell us a little bit about your approach for Archipelago Multi-World. It looks like you were taking on a lot of dragons here.
Yeah, Fitz was trying to have a more traditional playthrough. I was trying to think outside the box a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Multi-world is still so new that nobody really knows the best way, the fastest way, the most logical way to go about it. So why not try to figure it out in action, live on air, and see what works and what doesn't work? And I guess it kind of worked because we did win. I guess it's kind of foolish to have Shadow for an hour and never go to Gal Manor. So that was my last Esper. So that's definitely not the move. Take your free checks.
Yep. Yeah, the only problem with your free checks is that if it's something for your teammate, you're now scaling them up without giving them a heads up. Hey, I'm going to do this free check. Are you cool with getting another piece of progression and making your stuff harder?
Mm-hmm. I think the first 10, 20 minutes are kind of... That can happen, but you end up so powerful because you're passing stuff back and forth, and if you just take a little bit of time to loot a little bit more, you end up so powerful, and you just get ghosting, and then it turns into you can barely easily turn it into just a progression search, and that's what happened to us.
Yeah, so were you getting a little worried towards the end of the seed when you only had 8 Espers there?
Yeah, because I really didn't want to go to Floating Continent for just one Esper. I did have an idea of going to Kefka's Tower, just my party was so strong. So I could split it into 2 parts and do, both dragons, the Atma spot, and the statues, and warp out very comfortably. So I did that just like, hey, maybe I had to come here anyways. Right. So rather than come here, figure out, how many progression is here, and then just get the rest later and then use the warp for the last statue. Yep. Because there is a very small chance you have to go into Kefka's Tower, you just don't realize it. So it's not a bad idea. I think to just get out of the way first and figure out the rest later when you get out that strong. But again, nobody really knows for sure. We're just making it up as we go.
Yeah. One Free Fitz, unfortunately losing Go-Go, transitioning here to tier 3. Right in queue with the music, actually. Pretty nice. And Christopher Warkin starting tier number 2. So Christopher Warkin catching up a little bit here, and One Free Fitz is going to be down one of his powerful party members, his fixed dice jumping Dragonhorn Go-Go. Good utility caster, and the Corpse of Shadow is going to be coming in. So this will be interesting to see how Fitz plays this tier 3. So, question for you about Kefka's Tower. Right now, the way we have the settings set up is Kefka's Tower checks only yield items. I think perhaps I'll play with this a little bit, but I'm thinking maybe we put Espers into Kefka's Tower. I don't want to put characters in there because that's gross. But
No, I think characters being in a more traditional sense, Worlds Collide sense, is better. But Esper's being anywhere, I think, makes this it adds variety. It adds the multi-ward element that you get from playing the weekly playthroughs.
yeah.
But it also makes it so it's not very easy to get locked into a very unorthodox spot.
Yeah, because unlike characters, espers don't block anything, right? Because
No,
the
they're just
characters will gate your checks, and you can only do certain checks with you have certain characters, right? So, and that'll be sort of a setting that we could play around with in our YAMLs, and this is why we do our practice, folks, so that we can iron out all this nonsense here.
Yeah, I did have a question though. So, is it possible? Maybe somebody already asked this, or you know the answer. Maybe it's a higher level up question, but is it possible to pass on the Narsh World of Ruin second option, have it be an Archipelago item, and then never be able to get to it, and that turns out that was the pathway through the seed?
The Welk spot you need, or the Narsh weapon shop?
Yeah, the Narsh weapons. So say that Archipelago item is Edgar,
Mhm.
and Edgar is my path through the seed, and it's my path to get through Fitz's stuff through the seed, and I pass on it, and we never get through Terra, which is gated behind that item. Is that possible?
No, so
One would hope not.
Archipelago gives you both weapon shop items at the same time.
Okay.
So
Well,
you can't get locked. So that's one way you can't get locked out. Archipelago will also give you all of the loot at the end of, say, the Phantom Train, or an area that you can't go back into if you're playing Treasure Sanity, right? So that this way you don't get locked out of that way either. So I think the Norse Weapon Shop is the only check that applies to. Because with everything else, right, you don't really have a choice, except at Lone Wolf. And Lone Wolf 2 doesn't have a gate, so you can just go get it.
Good to know.
Although that is something that we could certainly test, just to make sure. Because I definitely don't want that to happen in the actual race.
Just something we thought we'd pull it out there.
Yeah, so now we're seeing one free Fitz with some pretty overwhelming power here. Going to take on Final Kefka. And we'll see if he gets through it. He's got some shields to throw. He has not a corpse coming into this fight with Realm, although I think that Realm is level 3 based on her HP. So we'll see what happens here. The one thing to watch out for is, I think you found, or no, One Free Fitz found his own golem. You did not find Commas Protection. So was your strategy, I'm just going to do it and see what happens?
So, if you notice, I went to the Coliseum numerous times.
Yep.
I was looking for the perfect setup. I was going to showcase something, but I have got it down to a science where is a Umaro outfit in which I can clear the entire Final Kefka boss 60% of the time successfully.
Little Mirage vest action.
Maybe you'll find out one day. There'll be a perfect storm of the equipment of Umaro.
If all of the stars align. One Free Fitz, though, does get the Crack Pow 155-16. So get your GGs in chat. That means that your left team are your winners here. The team of One Free Fitz and Drinks Glue taking it on home with their combined race time of 3 hours, 39 minutes, 55 seconds. Go give them a follow if you're enjoying what you're watching. GG's One Free Fitz. Nice job there, pulling it out at the end in spite of losing your go-go on Tier 2.
Yeah, that was sad, but, I had plenty of power, so I wasn't too worried about that overall.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your strategy with Multi-World, as Christopher Warkin is in a spot of bother right now. Oh, geez. Heal that boss. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't try to change my approach like that much. I think it's partly just about like communicating with your teammate about where you're going and how much progression that we had, and since we had to do a couple of extra things with the opera and the Sid stuff, it was kind of like, let's do that when it kind of feels like if one of us gets ahead, or since we both had Celeste, it was like, well, if we're going to go do the disruption, you might as well just do it while you're there. Anyway, I was looking for early power, and I didn't really find it, but via some of the early espers that I got, we had the magic power on lockdown. But yeah, and then like at a certain point, it started to be about like, all right, well, what's the fastest checks I can get through to hopefully unlock it for drinks. And I know they went and did like Kefka's Tower stuff at a certain point too. That's like, I think, another thing to consider if one of the teammates gets like ahead in progression versus the other is going and doing stuff that we gotta do anyway.
Right.
Making good use of that time, I think, helps out a lot as well.
Well, you guys definitely synced up getting to, the 20 checks, or 21 checks rather, at just about the same time. So it's kind of nice when everything comes together like that. And Christopher Warkin digs himself out of that hole finally and is now on to Final Kefka, so he should be done momentarily here. But, so yeah, is there any, I guess, particular strategy, and this is a question for both of you, when it comes to doing character builds, because you might get, as you mentioned, tons of like espers early on or really crazy high tier items. I know that we found Celeste with Magitech, and that really, I think, Glue forced you to go to Magitech Factory once you found that, right?
Definitely. I there was something a little off about that Celeste because she had 73 magic power, was level 46, and wasn't doing quad 9 tech missile, which was weird. But I'll play with that on my own time, I guess. But yeah,
Make sure
definitely.
You got earrings on her.
Yeah, no, and again 2 earrings, but that's just like found her, and then it's just multi-part checks. You might as well, because the more levels you get, you better, because you're gonna do more checks than what you typically do, just because you gotta stock the refrigerator for 2 different houses, if you will.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Couple of 1
We're,
HP things here.
Back to another pickle.
Yeah, well, Edgar is going to survive this. Umaro sadly will not, and it's up to Christopher Warkin to either get his party back together, or has he done enough damage where this Sword Tech 7 will finish it off. We'll have to see, but he's going for it, and he is firmly in Kefka counter territory here. And one Ultima or Havoc Wing is going to just knock him on his keister. So we'll see if this is enough damage here. Yes!
Yes.
There it is.
Nice.
159.49 for Christopher Warkin. Get your GGs in chat for him.
Very nice.
So yeah, all in all, it looks like the left team beat the right team by about 3 plus 4.5, so 7.5 minutes. Very close race for a multi-world seed.
Yeah, definitely. I think an interesting wrinkle is that I realized that characters that my teammates sent me were coming in at level 3 versus characters I got myself were coming in at like party average, which meant like that I got Strago 4th character was level 3.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, I got to raise him from a baby character, and so I could have really boosted their magic power up a lot early on, but on the other hand, it was like, ooh, well, I'm already at level 20.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if level 3 character is going to survive fights. So like, I was kind of trying to build a party where each of those 3 starting characters would basically be able to handle pretty much anything on their own. Because I was like, well, I can't assume I'm gonna get someone better than Strago, or even if I do, they might be so behind in levels that it might not matter. So
Yep.
that was something I was kind of adjusting to a little bit and trying to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think we should probably, I that's not necessarily intended, but that's just what the behavior is now. And because you could either start at level 3 or start at average level. And I don't know if Multi-World knows how to compute the levels for the characters, or may not be calling the right function to start average level. So that's definitely something to look into among some of the other quirks. We've already noticed some interesting bugs, like, we got Shadow at Tritalk for one of our runners, and sometimes the sprites get a little glitchy at those points. I do have a fix coded up. I just haven't been able to test it and integrate it yet. So we're very much still in beta for Archipelago. Let's bring in our right-hand side team. Congratulations on getting through that seed, guys. Zelfer, Christopher, Workin, GG's.
GG.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Christopher Workin, you were having a heck of a time there at the beginning of the seed. That Batternook fight, especially, I think that was, it took ages, and that's part of the downside of Archipelago is sometimes you can just be on the receiving end of a bunch of progression, and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, my bosses are super difficult.
Yeah, it was. I got all the chonky bosses.
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, that too.
It was Chad, it was Doom, it was Doomgaze, like every chonky boss I ran into.
There was also a Magimaster, I think, Fitz. You ran into him, I believe.
Oh yeah, that fool tried to step to me and nearly wiped my entire group all at once. But I luckily had gotten Berserk early and had it, so it was like, I got you now.
Yeah.
I was just glad because they opened with a bolt edge that did 1,000 damage to everyone. It was like, ooh.
Unfortunately, Zelfer did not have Berserk for his Magimaster fight, but was able to pull through with some rods plus Tech Missile plus some GP Rain there. So Zelfer racking up the checks over on his side. Was it getting a bit frustrating not finding espers for yourself there? I know the bottom runners, or player A in this case, because I screwed up and switched one of you guys, and then I switched the other one by mistake. So there was a little confusion at the start of the race. That's my fault. But yeah, Zelfer, not finding your espers, was that getting quite annoying after a while?
Less annoying in war. I just felt bad because I think when I was at 6-3, I was just running around trying to do stuff, and then Christopher was like, "Oh, hey, I'm ready for Final Kefka," and I was like, "Oh, hey, I am nowhere near that. So if you could please not go there and help me out, help a pal out, that would be much appreciated." And we eventually just kept on doing it, and then we got it.
It's like I had Final Kefka unlocked, but my party was nowhere near power level.
Yeah. I think you had done maybe 11 checks, 12 checks, and you had Kefka skip with 12 espers.
Something like that, yeah.
It was a bit
And
insane.
I was just running around like, Kefka, as soon as I'm able to go into your tower, you are done. I think I ended at level 50 almost.
Yeah. So, Zelfer, I'll start with you. General strategy around Archipelago seeds. I noticed you first went for the Opera and the Killing Sid. Was that just to buy some time while your teammate looted and got some free progression to figure out, okay, how exactly are we going to, move forward with what we've got in the seed?
That's exactly what we did. The strategy was, at first, I was going to run around and do checks first, and Christopher was going to do the Opera House and the Kill Sid first, and then we took a look at our starting characters, and I was like, all right, how about this? My starting characters suck for beginning checks, and you have Edgar and Celis. So I'll go to the upper house first, and you can run around and do all the free stuff, and then we'll decide. And then we just carried it from there. That way we could get like a little bit of a idea of what was happening, and then just take it from there.
Yeah, because especially with a Go-Go plus Celeste plus Edgar start, Christopher Warkin taking those 3 checks early in. At the start of the seed, things looked like they were pretty balanced. You guys got items pretty evenly, but for our player A's, the Espers were just not there. So.
No, they were not. I was handing all the goodies over to Quest Fairies. Like, he got Ultima, he got Bolt 3, he got Fire 3. He was looking for an economizer, and I had, like, a multiple of them, because I had one from a check, and I saw them in the shop, but my best spell was, like, Fire 2, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't give items to the other player. That would be an interesting development. So... Christopher Warkin did, however, hand you over a nice piece, Zelfer, when he gave you that Magitech Celeste. So you immediately went to do that, even though Celeste was a bit under levels compared to the rest of your party.
Oh man, I was that was really like almost the best gift I could hope for. I was like, a Celeste with Magic Tech. I'm like, all right, and I have a Magic Power +2 Esper. Yeah, sure. Join the team. This Cyan with no magic power and X magic, he doesn't need to be here anymore. And yeah, that was beautiful. She was hitting for like quad 9s by the end, and life was great.
And then Christopher Warkin, you went into Kefka's Tower, and then you went out and did Owser's Mansion. What was that all about?
So that was Edgar not having Quadra-Slice.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I left, got a couple of extra levels, got Quadra-Slice, and that made everything so much easier.
Yeah,
because we were talking, and it's like Piranhas and Rhizopods. He said didn't give experience. Turns out they do, but not enough to give Edgar the levels needed to get Sortech 7 Quadra-Slice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Final Kefka without Quadra-Slice, not good. Let me go do this real quick.
No, definitely not. And actually, he ended up being your MVP, getting the final blow on Final Kefka there as well. So good usage of knowledge to go back and go do that for sure.
Yeah, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. Yeah.
It happens.
Rather than trying to slam my head against a wall.
Yeah, and plus having access to Ultima there, I think was sort of what your plan was for the seed when you got that Esper. I think it was relatively early on when you used it with Realm.
It was about midway through.
Okay.
The problem was I never found a gold hairpin. I never found an economizer. So I kind of had to save it.
Yeah.
And I never really used it. Well, I did it on like the tentacle fight.
Yeah.
And like, well, this is fun, and Ultima, and bye.
Plus having that, was it Marvel shoes, or you had haste on your character somehow? Definitely.
Running shoes, yeah.
Yeah. That was the right boss to use the running shoes on for sure.
Yeah. Well, I just had running shoes on Celis and Edgar from the beginning. Because, believe it or not, Celis was my MVP with health. Because a lot of those chonky bosses I never would have gotten through if she hadn't been healing 90% of the time.
Yep, totally makes sense there. All right, so I don't think I have any other questions for you guys, so let's take this one by one. We'll start with you, Christopher Warkin. You got any other final thoughts or things from your run that maybe you want to highlight?
Where's the damn economizer?
Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of economizers for your other player, but none for you.
Yeah, I know, right? Par for the course.
Zelfer, any other final thoughts here?
As the guy with all the economizers, where were the spells?
I mean, you got Tech Missile. You should be happy enough, right?
Right, I got a tech missile with magic power +2. That's really all I needed. But it still, I had a realm, I had a murder child, and she was like, "Yeah, I got ice too. Look at me go!" And I'm just like, "Oh, next seed, baby, little girl." No, it was a lot of fun though. We had a good time. Yeah. Thank you guys for doing this and setting everything up. This was a blast.
All right, thank you, right team, and appreciate you running in the race, and Zelfer, especially to you, filling in last minute. So thank you so much for doing that, and we'll get to do another one of these soon as we continue to tinker with the host Yamls, and next time we'll put some espers maybe in Kefka's Tower for you guys to go find. So GG's again, and thanks for an awesome race.
Yeah, thank you. I was actually quite pleased with myself being as close as it was, because Glue and Fitz are not people to screw around with.
You got that right.
All right. Well, with that, one free Fitz. You got any other final thoughts here before we wrap up?
Yeah, I had a great laugh when the meme chest had an experience egg for me.
I
like,
forgot about that. Yes.
I was like, man, that would have been nice. Like early on, I think this format is interesting because obviously all the mechanics are the same, but like the routing is different enough that I feel like no one really has any idea what they're doing. And so
isn't that the point of Rando?
it's
Nobody knows what's going on.
well, it's like even more, right? Like, and
Yeah.
so like we don't even have the typical like, oh, my characters lead the characters in the same sort of way, with like dragon checks being rewarding progression. It definitely opens up like more routing options and potentially like divergence as well. And then it's also just fun racing and having someone in like the cockpit alongside of you to hang out. And obviously if you like run into something weird, you got someone else to kind of ask a question. Or if you're racing with Zelfer and they get real quiet all of a sudden, you know something bad is going down. And like
like
they're concentrating.
The Madam Outsiders on the minecart, like Drinks Glue.
Oh yeah, I was at Drinks and I were like just like talking, and he was like, "Oh no," and I was like, "Wait, what's oh no?" And I was like, "Oh well, I wasn't paying attention. I queued up some attacks against this Madam Outsider formation." And I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, that's a hot reset. Mog actually, I think, tanked one throw, but could not tank the second one.
Can attest that does happen from time to time.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Glue, you got any other final thoughts before we get the heck out of here?
Yeah, so why were we practicing this, and what was all this nonsense for again?
Yes.
Were we doing a marathon or something?
Yeah, we're doing a multi-thon marathon. It is going to be taking place Saturday, March 16th, 12 noon Eastern, over on twitch.tv/multithon. So it will be a 2v2 race. So we'll be the runners that you saw today, but I am going to be taking Zelfer's place as a runner. I don't know who the heck we have on commentary. I think maybe we have Aprebs doing commentary.
I think it was
for that one.
Arusta and Aprebs.
And Arusta, perfect. So that'll be a lot of fun for us to do. So we're doing it for a charity marathon. I don't remember what the charity is off the top of my head. I think it has something to do with puppies and support dogs.
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe the name of it is Blue Path. They are a nonprofit that like trains and provides service animals for. I'm gonna have to double check on this. I think I have a host. No, I might have a host shift, so I should probably brush up on this a little bit more. But I believe that it's training service dogs for people on the autism spectrum. So it's pretty cool. I know from our Pets Collide Discord thread that we got a lot of dog lovers. I know that. Drinks themselves is always talking about people that got the dog in them, and so
and around them.
It feels appropriate that we've got, a dog-centric I think last year, based on the donations, like they got to name one of the dogs and periodically like
Yes.
get updates. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, always love doing these and looking forward to doing this one.
Yeah, doing things for charity is great. Exposing the community to more eyes is always fun as well. So thank you all for helping us practice, and for, you know, everybody else who will be participating when the marathon comes around. And I think that's going to be it, unless you got anything else, guys. Good, that is silence. Perfect. So thank you so
Nothing
much.
for me.
We're all good.
Yep. So thank you so much for everybody coming out and enjoying this multi-thon. Also, thanks for sticking with me after a power outage. Nuked the nuked the stream for a little bit. I think that was Christopher Warkin was taking so long with Chatternook, he bolt 3'd my stream.
Lol.
So thanks for that, Mr. Warkin. Appreciate that. And
Yeah,
and that's gonna do it for us. We'll catch you on the next time. See you later. Thanks again. Bye bye now.
bye.